Welcome back to the Active Life Podcast. I'm Cody.
I'm Larry.
Today we're talking about the top 5 client turnoffs.
Oof. Basically, worst things you could do to make a client think that you are the last place they should spend their money.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I think is really important about this? I've been sharing this a lot with students lately, and I've just seen it a million times in my own life, and I think that if you start to audit it, you'll see it also. We notice the things that turn us off much more intensely than we notice the things that turn us off. Mm-hmm. Negative experiences are much more powerful for us than positive ones. So it takes a larger accumulation of positive experiences to outweigh one negative experience. So what this means is the things you are doing to turn your clients off, and even potential clients off in a sales conversation, whatever it is, those are hurting you more than the things you're doing right are helping you.
Mm-hmm. It's a negativity bias.
So the things that you're doing wrong, the top 5 turnoffs, are crucial for you to start to take audit of and start avoiding.
Do you imagine that there's a percentage of positive to negative experiences, like a ratio that we need to, like for every one negative experience, we need to have X amount of positive experiences?
I think the answer is yes, and I think that the number is probably higher than we would like to know that it is. So I think that without knowing what that number is, it's just safe to assume just avoid the negative stuff at all costs.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into it. So we know things, this would be as a coach, as a professional, these are the things that you're going to do that could be a turnoff for your clients or are turnoffs for clients.
And by the way, if a friend of yours is a personal trainer, a coach of some sort, and you notice these things, help them out. Help them do better, especially if they actually care about their job.
Yep. Number 1, being hands-free. That's such a big one.
Meaning just not having something in your hands.
Your phone, coffee, drink. I walked by a facility here in Long Beach the other day, and there was a session, like a class running, and somebody had just a container and was eating dinner.
It doesn't get worse than that, man.
Tell me that you would rather be anywhere else without telling me you would rather be anywhere else.
Like maybe a phone. And I think, and the coffee one is bad too, man. I'm just like, how many people have you seen leaning over their arms crossed with a cup of coffee? And when it's a to-go cup,
yeah.
Like, tell me that you need something to get through this without telling me.
Yeah. The phone is a terrible one as well. And even like watches can be bad. Because like smartwatches, people will get notifications pushed to their watches, and you can see them scrolling through the watch.
Yeah. You know what it looks like when someone's checking the time.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate versus looking at stuff.
Yes. So being hands-free, that is an easy one. No devices. If you have something to drink on the floor, you can have water, and it should be obvious that it's water.
Yeah. Yeah. The one caveat to this is if you have a proper folder or a portfolio or a tablet where all of your programming happens, that's fine, as long as it's absolutely obvious that you are referring to and documenting their program.
Yeah, that's a great point. When I was coaching CrossFit, when I was leading the team, when I was coaching CrossFit, it was even like a PVC pipe. Coaches would walk around with a PVC pipe, like their staff, in their hand the whole time.
Yeah.
And it was just a thing to do that you would lean on, that you would play with. It's like
it's an adult binky.
Get that thing out of your hands. Pay attention, because now you can coach, cue, correct. You can do the things that you need to do.
Yep.
You're more attentive.
Agree. All right. So being hands-free, just having your hands free and demonstrating that you're attentive.
Number 2, being late. That was allowed.
It's just so bad, man. It's just so bad.
And being late could be showing up late to the facility and also running over the previous session.
Running over the previous session.
Like having a session.
It could also mean running yours longer than it's supposed to because you haven't finished what you guys were supposed to do.
Yes. Right. So ending this current client's session late.
I see. So in other words, you either show up to the facility or their session later than you're supposed to be there to start. By the way, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. You are finishing up a previous client session, bleeding into the time of your next client session, or you're carrying their session too long.
Yeah, and by the way, finishing the previous client session at 8:59 so you can start the next one at 9 is a bleed over.
Agree.
There's no way you're wrapping up that session effectively and efficiently and making sure that the person you just got done with feels great about it in 1 minute. Walking them out the door.
I think that the one thing that is great about typical doctor's office setups, where we all know that a doctor is seeing as many people as possible in as little time as possible, most doctors. The one thing that I think is beneficial about that from a perception standpoint is when you're all locked away in your little room and the doctor has to travel down a hall from closed door to closed door, you just see the doctor showing up for you without seeing all the other stuff that he or she was doing. When you're in an open floor space and a client sees you saying goodbye, turning, taking a breath, and then saying hi to you, it's not a good look.
I wasn't thinking about it that way.
It's just not a good look.
Yeah, that's an important piece.
They can see that you were stretched, and they don't like it. Clients don't like seeing you stretched. There's no valor in like, I'm just grinding, I'm here for you. Clients don't like that. It doesn't feel good.
So being late, that's an obvious number 2. Starting late, finishing late, showing up late.
I think that for people who are habitually late, I have been one in the past. For people who are habitually late, the way to think about this is to start being early, not being on time. You have to start being early because you're not going to swing from late to on time. You have to swing from late to early. You have to give yourself a buffer.
Yeah. One of the things from a programming standpoint that's been very helpful to continue to remind the team at Long Beach of is, look, you need to think about your programming in 45 to 50 minute blocks.
100% agree.
Not 60-minute blocks.
Yep. 60 minutes is the buffer to handle the time and space in between, or if something maybe takes a little bit longer to execute or get through in conversation. A general rule of thumb that I found very helpful is that you, the provider, the person who is doing something for someone, should always be waiting for the customer. The customer should not be waiting for you. And let's not get into the psychology of, the customer will perceive that you're busy and there's a value add. You should be ready. You should be on top of your thing. You should be efficient. And this is true if you're doing, if someone's doing a favor for you, you should be waiting for them. They should not be waiting for you if they're doing something for you. So as the provider, make sure that you are ready for them.
Yeah. Session appropriately, time your sessions and the amount of programming, because even if you have to go to the bathroom, you've got some back-to-back sessions, you've got 3 sessions that are back-to-back, and you're thinking, okay, I got to do 60 minutes of exercise here. You're not leaving yourself that time, so you're late for the next session.
If you I've seen a lot of, I know a lot of coaches, therapists, variety of different kinds of people like this that run and advertise 50-minute blocks, and they give themselves a proper 10-minute buffer in between patients or clients or whatever it is in order for them to go to the bathroom, to take a drink of water if they need to document something, to put notes away, to meditate for 5 minutes before the next, whatever it is. You have to give yourself that buffer, and your client's going to appreciate it.
Agreed. Okay, so that gets us through 2 of the 5. The next one is propriety, showing up like a slob.
Yeah.
Right? Did you just get done working out? Are you clearly disheveled? Like, what's your hair look like? Are you groomed? Have you shaved? And it's not that you can't have a beard if you're a guy. Like, you can have a beard, but do you have all this stuff growing in your neck? Is it unkempt? Is it all over the place?
So look intentional.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much to propriety. Are your shoelaces untied? Are your clothes dirty? Do they look like gym clothes? Do they look like what you would be on your couch on a Sunday afternoon in?
Do you have a uniform?
Yeah.
I love for us. Long ago, we started in my first, having uniforms. We would have a separate shirt that you would wear when you were doing one-on-one sessions versus when you were coaching the group.
Wow. Nice.
So that you would be able to see. And look, the uniform is it's a little bit like putting on a costume. As the professional, you're like, okay, there's intention here. I'm putting on my superhero cape. I'm stepping into this character of the professional.
Well, it's the lawyer's suit and tie, or whatever the hell the skirt version of that is.
Yeah. The power suit.
The power suit. Yeah, man. And I think that there's more to propriety than just the way you dress. I think that propriety has a lot to do with how you carry yourself. And more than that, I think propriety is demonstrated by the character that you want to demonstrate.
Can you say more about that?
Yeah. To me, when I think about character, I think about integrity. I think about honesty. I think about professionalism. I think about how you want to talk about situations, people, events. What do you want someone to see is true for you, and how you feel about yourself and how you feel about the session by the way that you walk, talk, dress, smell, what you do and don't do, what you say and don't say.
So an example of what we would want to avoid in this, I'm imagining, would be spending the session talking about yourself.
Yeah. Dude, my wife and I got into a really crazy argument this weekend. My dog shit all over the kitchen floor, and we were arguing about who ends up doing most of the cleaning. That has no place in a session. No place in a session.
When your client asks you how your weekend was.
Yeah. It was great. How was yours? That's the acceptable answer.
Yeah.
Or, there's a little struggle. I actually got into a car accident, but everything panned out. Well, I'm glad that everything's okay. How about yours?
Hey, it's Dr. Sean here reminding you that if you are a coach who wants to fill the gap neglected by fitness and healthcare, and you want to make a career doing it, we might be able to help you. Head to the show notes. There's a link there. You're going to click that link to download the ALP curriculum. That's the stuff that we teach to coaches over the course of 13 months to turn them into world-class professionals who never have to worry about missing a paycheck again, doing work they love to do. Go ahead and check that out, and I'll see you on the other side. Let's get you back to the show.
No more than that.
Keeping it about them.
Yes, keeping it about them. Ultimately, I think that Propriety, when you are providing a service like this, has to do with making sure that the conversation and the entire experience is curated for them and that they are getting the most out of it. And that means that you don't talk about yourself unless they ask you to. And even when they do, you don't talk about yourself for more than 30 seconds before you bring it back to what they're there for.
Yeah, I like that. Anything else on Propriety?
Nothing I can think of.
Feel good? Okay. Working out or working in with them.
Oh, fun times.
There's another one.
I'm going to do this set with you.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just, all of that. Like, hey, I'm going to work in. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and grab a set really quick. You just watch me. Let me show you how to do it, and then you're going to go.
Does this happen?
I guess. I've never seen it happen. I've never been in a commercial gym, though. I've never been in that type of environment.
Well, what I understand is that it happens in group fitness gyms a lot.
Oh, yeah. So the example you're using is like the coach will do the workout with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had some experiences early on when we were starting the business where, you would have a class and one person would show up. And it was like do you work out with them? Do you coach them?
I see. Oh, now I have a better understanding of what you're talking about. So you're saying like the personal trainer is working alongside the client and they grab a kettlebell to do a set of goblet squats with them or while they're resting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad.
In the group set, what we landed on in the group setting was, look, if there's one person, they're getting a personal training session. That's what you're doing. You're not doing the Metcon with them. You're not doing the strength portion with them.
Right.
You're there to coach. Do that. Be that. You don't work in with clients.
Got it.
That's not the thing.
Agree.
Yeah, working out with them, working in with them. Like if you're in a group fitness and like you're coaching at 5 o'clock and there's a 6 o'clock going on, go in, join the 6 o'clock. Like do your group fitness session with them at the time when you're not the coach on the floor.
I also appreciate that you mentioned that they should do the one after your session, not do the class before your session.
Right.
Because you're not going to have enough time to be presentable.
Yeah, where you're going to come in all sweat, like with your shirt still off, stuff like that.
Yep.
Even like thinking about how you're showing up, like, are you wearing a hat? If you are wearing a hat for whatever reason, is it in a professional manner? Is it flipped backwards? Is it a flat bill? Is it a branded something for your business?
Well, I would even beyond this, the working out with them thing, I think that there are some smaller things that people here might not consider as working out with them. You doing any myofascial release while a client is exercising or even resting. Do not do it. So do not sit on a box and put a lacrosse ball on your upper hamstrings because that's something you need to do during a client session. Do not do a stretch during a client session. Do not be adjusting yourself and getting into certain positions that you think you need for yourself during a client session. It's not what they're paying you for.
That's a really good thing to highlight. Like that. Okay, so so far we have hands-free. We have the propriety, being late, working out with them, or working out in general while their session is going on. The last two, they fit together pretty well. It's the being unprepared for your sessions. And maybe they don't fit as well together. So maybe we'll give like a 5 and a 6. So let's talk about being unprepared first.
Okay. What are some examples that you see as being unprepared?
It's when the client comes in and you're like, what do you want to do today?
This is where I live in a bubble because I could never imagine asking my client what they want to do. I don't care what they want to do. Well, they're here to do what they want to do. They're here to get what they need to get.
Yeah, they're going to get what they in a way that they want. They enjoy it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't even think that that's priority. Maybe I'm speaking for myself, not on behalf of Active Life here, but I don't think that their enjoyment is the priority in a program.
I think you have to have.
I think it has to be minimally palatable.
There has to be one of the members on our team talks about it, like your fruits and your vegetables.
Sure.
Or your vegetables and your desserts.
Vegetables got to taste good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Give them the vegetables.
And the other thing is that I'm not saying that enjoyment doesn't have to be a priority long term, because I think that long term everyone should be in a position where they get to enjoy what will make them better. But if you're dealing with a serious problem that needs fixing, your priority in the beginning isn't whether or not you enjoy the process. Your priority is fixing your problem.
Yep. I agree with that.
So anyway, being unprepared might be asking them, what are you in the mood for today?
Another one that I've seen, which is just a real, real bother to me, is a way to be unprepared is to have the same program for every single person.
I see. Everyone's getting the same and you're tweaking it a little?
Yeah.
100% agree.
You build out one template and you're like, okay, everybody's going to do a strength portion and a conditioning portion and a cool down, but I'm going to tweak it for Sally based on what Sally wants or has going on. And Bill's going to do the same thing, maybe just a little bit different in this one exercise because he's got a knee dysfunction going on. Like, that is unprepared.
It's lazy is what it is.
It is. Can you think of any other examples of being unprepared?
Yeah. Generally not knowing where you're taking this client. And you having this pretense in your head that as long as the client comes and enjoys what they did with you, it was time well spent. If the client is signing up for that, that's fine. But ultimately, you need to be taking a client in a mutually agreed upon direction. If the pretense of your relationship comes down to, I have no more goals, I like working out with you enough that I'm here to come to do whatever you tell me to do, I don't care where it takes me, and I'm happy to pay for that, then fine, then keep doing that if you're both inspired by that. But not having a plan in general, and you showing up not having had the plan for the day is a huge problem that ultimately is going to cost both of you guys, even if they can't perceive that that's happened at one point or another. They know what it feels like when you're guessing and you're just pulling stuff out of your hat.
Yeah. Another aspect of being prepared to me is understanding, and this is work that needs to be done on the front end, understanding deeply the person's goals, their limitations, like why they're doing this, the what and the why. If you don't have, like, and that can go all the way down to, are they married? Do they have kids? Like, what sort of additional information do you have about this individual? What are the things that you're remembering from the last session, the things that they brought up to you that you're going to highlight in the next session?
Yeah. I think another way to be prepared is by making sure that you understand the things outside of your sessions that are taking time and money and energy. Fun times, excuse me, that are taking time, money, and energy from them that directly implicate your session. For example, doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
What other kinds of treatments or practitioners are they seeing for one or multiple conditions? So, for example, I have a client right now who is going through a phase of, she's in her 70s, and she's going through a phase of a lot of doctor's visits right now. She's generally very healthy, but she's going through a lot of doctor's visits between checkups and this, that, and the other thing. I want to know what doctor she's seeing, for what, and when. I want to know how the appointment went. I want to know what the consensus is and what that doctor told her happens going forward. I want to know what all of that stuff. I want to know because it directly implicates what we're going to do together and how I can help her or how I can't.
How do you gather that information in a professional way? Because I can imagine some coaches or trainers hearing this and having resistance towards asking those questions.
I would ask what the resistance is. Your job is to have all of the information that allows you to do your job well and to ensure that you're not doing things to make anyone's condition worse. It's your job to understand that stuff. So I'm asking very straightforwardly. You have a doctor's appointment? What kind of doctor? What's the reason that the doctor wanted you to see this person instead? What's the plan? What does this mean for you? Any any feedback on things that this doctor does or doesn't want you to be placing upon yourself?
Mm-hmm. Were there any recommendations made that would
for or
impact
against
our
something?
ability?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on the prepared or unprepared? Any other examples that pop up for you?
Can't think of anything for that one. No.
Okay. So the last one, we'll give a bonus. We'll give number 6 as a bonus. This does tie into some of the other things that we were talking about, and it's just generally shit talking.
Yes, love this one.
And it could be about anything.
Or anyone.
Or anyone. That's huge. Because what you do when there were 2 things that come up for me. Number 1, when you allow yourself to talk disparagingly about someone or something else in front of your client, you give them permission to do the same thing.
The client?
Yes. Whether consciously or unconsciously, they now think, oh, Larry's good and Cody's good with talking shit about XYZ. That means that I can now do the same thing. Especially if it's another client, if it's another person, even another training modality. We tried very, very hard, and I still do to this day. I talk to people about CrossFit in a way that implies explicitly that I still have respect for that training modality and aspects of that training modality. I do not ever, when somebody tells me the things that they've done before, been like, oh my gosh, Pilates, CrossFit, why did you do those things? Of course, I can see why you're dealing with this issue right now. Because of that, it was a bad training modality for you. We avoid doing that.
Yeah.
And then to like another individual, another person, as soon as you start to, and it could be talking shit about yourself, whatever it is, you give them permission to do the same thing.
I think there's another side of this that's even more unconscious initially, but that has a more insidious implication on the relationship. I believe that if a client perceives you shit talking a person or an institution, they unconsciously realize that under the right conditions, you would shit talk them.
I agree with that. Yeah, as soon as you do it, they start to think that, oh, you do that when I leave.
You're less trustworthy, period.
This goes all the way to if you're in the group fitness, like not allowing that to happen within your facility as well.
I completely agree. It should be a part of a culture that we don't speak disparagingly, even if there are a million bad things that some people might be able to say. We're not the ones that point that out. We look for what good there is to say. We look for the opportunity to describe, I understand why it might not be appropriate for someone or why someone might not like it, but there's no condemnation in dropping the hammer on people for this like overall write-off. It doesn't happen. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. What I used to tell our team and our clients is we don't do that. We don't talk that way.
Perfect.
It's an easy one. Okay. So those are the 6 things. Let's
recap those, yeah.
Very briefly, hands-free. You don't have anything in your hands. You're clearly there, attentive for your client. Number 2, you're on time. If you're just on time, you're probably late. Number 3 is the propriety. You look, sound, act, smell like a professional. Number 4, you're not working out or working in with your clients. Number 5, you are prepared, so you are not unprepared in any aspect of whatever the session in the relationship is going to look like. You are prepared. The last is shit talking. Can you think of anything else that would be valuable to highlight as far as a client turnoff?
I think those are great. If you go all in on doing these, you're setting yourself above and beyond most.
Is there a way that somebody could use this as a way to audit that you can imagine?
Yeah. Well, I think that the first thing I think that it's a very, very simple way, and I think that you should write these 6 down, and you should start with the first one. And you should ask yourself, do I understand what this is asking of me? What do I think this is asking of me? Take this one for a week across your 25 client sessions and see where and when you're violating the first one. Clean that up. When it's not happening anymore, move to the second one.
I like that. And if you're in a leadership role in a facility where you have other coaches or trainers,
exactly,
you can evaluate them.
Exactly.
That's a part of your responsibility.
Well, I would still start by evaluating yourself.
100%. I agree with that.
And then I would evaluate them.
Yes. Okay. Great conversation. Remember, if you enjoyed this, we assume you did, like, share, subscribe, do all of the good things so that more people get to hear this, share it with somebody who needs to hear it.
Good job, Cody.
See ya.
See ya.
I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Active Life podcast. If you did, please head to wherever you listen and leave us that 5-star rating. It really does go a long way. 5 stars goes a long way. Please leave them. If you're interested in working with us as a coach, remember, we help coaches from around the world build fulfilling careers, working with clients they're inspired to help so they never have to worry about being able to pay your bills again. No one's ever going to ask you if you are going to get a real job when you work with Active Life. All you have to do, head into the show notes, click the link that you find there, download our curriculum. That will give you a feel for what it is going to take for you to be successful. A team member of ours will reach out to you to find out if it's a fit for us to work together. Till the next show, turn pro.